Good day, fellas. I hope you are ready for your daily dose of skill. Today we are going to do something different. Today we are going to test particularly new experimental equipment, and just a quick heads up for you. Experimental equipment is already in the index page. As you can see, the second build is what I recommend to use on one or another vehicle, and you can click on whatever tank you are going to get the answer what equipment I would personally use, right? Obviously you have a choice between the standard equipment and between the experimental equipment. So keep this in mind. The job is done. Now, not every single tank has equipment like this done, because I did not figure it out the way how to play with those vehicles. As an example, if I'm not mistaken, lower tier tank destroyers are not using any of this, but it's just overall for information. If you are struggling with a new experimental equipment, this is the way to check it out. So anyways, this is how I played with a T57 before. I was playing with ventilation, stabilizer, and bounty aiming. Now I know this is a Bond equipment skill, you mother trucker. How can you play like this? Look, this is for testing purposes and just to check it out how the tank is looking like overall. And for a second setup, I have like literally every single experimental equipment, so we will see how it is going to look like overall, right? Obviously, to make test a bit more accurate, maybe I could replace ventilation for hardening, but I prefer not to, because I do not use ventilation on this. I do not use hardening on the T57 anyways, right? Anyways, without further ado, let's go into the first game, and I want to highlight, I am going to focus purely of how the tank feels like, not the score, right? So let's keep this in mind. Anyways, let's go. Okay, this is going to be our test equipment setup, which I like to play with, right? Which would be ventilation, stabilizer, improved aiming unit to maximize the gun handling of this vehicle to the maximum. Obviously, I have no turbo, so I'm slower, and I do not have hardening, so I can get racket from the first shot. Every single equipment has its own downgrades and upgrades in the same time, right? So let's keep this in mind, but this is the test. After that, we are going to replace one equipment piece. After that, we are going to replace the other equipment piece, and we will see what kind of play in the end of the day this tank can have with the experimental equipment. And obviously we are going to finish everything off with like all pieces of experimental equipment tuned up to the maximum, because this is one of the tanks which it might work. I was always looking into experimental equipment, like experimental equipment would be the best in slot, right? This is how I look at it, and this is how I see it, especially level 3. Obviously, it is not realistic to have this kind of setup yet, and the main reason why am I saying so it is not really realistic is you simply cannot have it yet, right? You need to grind it. You need to grind it in the future. What kind of events Wargaming is giving for us, I have no clue. Focus on the aim time and bloom. Focus on the aim time and bloom, fellas. This is the most important thing. This is what we are testing out, right? We are checking out how the gun is looking like whenever we are rotating our turret. We are just checking the things out. And yeah, the aim time is looking like it would take a while to fully aim, to say the least, right? We can definitely highlight this. Okay, there is E5 who might try to cross. That's good. We have all time. And plus on top of that, once again, we are focusing on the platform. We are focusing on the gun. That's what we are focusing on. I do not really mind the score. I can have 4,000. Or I can have 17,000, I don't care. Don't worry, we are fine. Also, one more thing to say, which is, in my humble opinion, very, very important. This tank is kind of must be played with a heat ammunition, right? At least this is how I feel like about this vehicle. T57 is one of those tanks which should be played with gold. I don't know, would you agree with me or disagree, but this is how I feel like. Up, 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 up. It's beautiful gun handling, fellas. Okay. By saying beautiful, I am using this beautiful very, very loosely, to say that the least, right? Pretty much ideal gameplay with this tank is to get in front of the enemies whenever you are sticking your gun up there, you know? And after that you are showing who is the boss in a way. This is how performance is looking like with this vehicle usually, or at least this is how you're supposed to play, but that is okay. Look, by having a bit of the safer defense parameter here, it is not a bad thing. We are testing the tanks out, that's the most important thing. I really want to go aggressively against this Mr. Progetto, but I'm a bit afraid if I am not going to be too late here. The main reason why am I thinking I might be too late, because we have two autoloaders currently pushing on him. What that basically means, this gentleman will have quite a bit of problems. Good. Oi, oi. Here we go. Pay attention at this Mr. Progetto. Yeah, poor soul. Okay, Progetto is down. Excellent. How we can get more involved? Now we want to make a bit of pressure for this E5. Hopefully we can see the object somewhere in the back or almighty JPs. That doesn't really matter. All we want to do, we want to find a good angle to get some use. I don't know. For me, this tank feels like it is a normal tank now, as it always used to be, right? I do not even see that much difference between bounty equipment and bond equipment. I must admit, I never ever played with this vehicle with a bond equipment till now, right? And I do not see the difference. This vehicle is looking like, to me, the same way as it was looking like before. The gun is extremely trollish, the aim time is dreadful, the tank itself is just sad, you know? This is how I am looking into this. Obviously, if you love to play with autoloaders, you might love this tank with all your heart, right? Who knows? Who knows, fellas? Okay, let's finish him off. Oh, yopter, right, this gun handling is so bad. This gun handling is so bad, fellas. Woo! Woo! Not even funny, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Not even funny. But once again, our main test is how the gun is behaving. I don't care about the speed of the tank currently. I don't care about any of those things. I care about gun. Me scusi, thank you very much. Can we get a couple of the free shots here? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Excellent. Okay, very good. I believe this game is kind of GG finito. I do not really think we are going to be able to reach this Mr. Jackpizda until we are going to reload. Actually, maybe. The thing is, I'm not fastest mother trucker on the field either at this point, right? So we need to keep this in mind. What equipment piece we are changing first? Let's change ventilation for... Okay, I have an idea. Let's change stabilizer for the new experimental stabilizer. This is going to be the first change, and we will try to check it out, how the things are looking like, speaking about the gun handling. Will we see the bloom smaller or not? Will the aim time take longer or not so much? I am very curious. I really want to check out the things, and more I think about it, more I am thinking maybe we could replace improved aiming unit on this tank as well, because unfortunately, but this tank gun accuracy is just, let's say, far away from being perfect, right? This is what I am thinking. Okay. Oh, Vaza, you naughty piglet. You naughty piglet. He went for damage, son of the banana. Okay, smart. Okay, first battle, 3,700 damage, 700 assisting damage, far away from being perfect, but that's completely fine. I missed plenty of shots. I had a safer defense parameter in a way myself. Whenever we went close, we were missing that E5 from literally 50 meters distance. It was a bit of the dreadful game, but that's fine. This is what we are testing, and this is what T57 is all about. Now, secondary setup, what we are going to do, we are going to replace stabilizer for experimental fire control system. The main reason why I want to do this, I want to see how the aim time and how stabilization is looking like overall with this vehicle whenever we have a setup like this. I just want to test out the things and let's see will we notice any difference. After that we are going to change the, after that we are going to get the turbo for ourselves while leaving ventilation or while leaving the bound aiming unit, and after that we are going to do something else. Anyways, let's go. Okay, round number 2. We are going to play with a T57 but without stabilizer, but with this improved stabilizer plus aiming time, right? I'm curious how the tank will behave and how it will look like. So far, to be fair with you, I do not really see that much of the difference, if any. And plus on top of that, considering how expensive that equipment is to craft, well, you know. Yeah, I mean, pay attention at the bloom. The bloom is absolutely nuts, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, right? So, skill, do you see the difference so far? No. Well, maybe when we will aim. Well, if you want, fellas, honest opinion, I don't see that much difference, if any, whatsoever, right? It is still taking forever and ever to aim with this vehicle, so yeah. Okay, at least now we know. At least now we know. This is very, very important thing to test things like this, right? I was very skeptic about this equipment setup or this equipment piece. I could not see why would you want to replace something like stabilizer or something, but now I know and I see it is not looking that great, and it is not looking like it is the best idea to do so. Hey, let me finish my clip. One more, my man, one more. Thank you, I appreciate you. By the way, very, very good clip here. We punished enemies, they made a mistake, and we we spanked them like there is no tomorrow. I don't really think this situation has to do anything with our equipment setup, to be fair with you. I think enemies simply made enough mistakes for us to punish them. That's the main thing. Okay, beautiful. How about this? Excellent. How about this? Excellent. And one more for good luck. Excellent. Okay, luckily the gun is behaving a bit better in this game. Maybe I just simply have better RNG as well, but on the paper wise, whenever I am moving my turret or something, I mean, bloom is still big and it is taking forever and ever until we are aiming, right? This must be highlighted. Obviously, considering the score and how enemy team is playing, like maybe we simply have a better RNG and overall enemy has no team. Maybe that's why it looks like this way. But so far, honestly speaking, I haven't seen any difference whatsoever. Now, one for you, one for you, one for you, and one for you. Beautiful, 3 out of 4, not bad whatsoever. Obviously, this is a lot of gold spam and everything. I am very, very well aware of that, you know, it's just how it works. Now the question is, can we jump on the Mr. Shrek? He will move in front, jumping on the Shrek. We're done for. Everyone get Okay, so the score of this game is 4,000 damage, 200 assisting damage. That's completely fine. Once again, we are not that much looking to the score. We are testing the other things, right? And obviously we paid quite a bit of the credits to get the score, but that's okay. Anyways, now it's time to upgrade the things, and I am replacing bounty aiming for experimental turbo. Now what turbo will give for us? We will be faster, we will get top speed, and in the same time our reticle is going to be more accurate as well. Skill, I have a question. Why so? Well, it is turbo and rotation mechanism combined into one. Let's see how everything is going to look like now. Okay, let's see what do we have. So once again, this is our setup, right? Let's focus on the bloom. Bloom is what we are looking for and how it works, right? Let's get some speed. Yeah, I mean, to be fair with you boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, it is still humongous. I do not see any difference whatsoever. It's not like the tank became super duper accurate after this. Although, keep this in mind, tank became faster, right? So to get into position, to run away of position, go backwards, it just simply became a bit better. So the tank is a bit more agile overall. Look at this, 18 kilometers per hour speed whenever you are going backwards. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't look bad. Arta, not a big surprise. Good, good, good. Now, the question is, will we have anyone trying to be aggressive here and try to cross like this? We do not want to be too aggressive here. There is no way and there is no point for me to go here and take one for the team from the gentlemen who are sitting around this area. It's just simply not worth it. It is just simply not worth it. Everyone is sitting hold down here. This T10 is dead meat. I don't really think we can help him or we can do something about it. And yeah, shame. But that's what we have. Now, if you would pay attention what is happening, our city is looking, well, how to be polite and how to say that straight in the face. Way weaker than enemy city, right? Just how it goes. Our heavy tanks made a decision to push this line. Okay, that is fair, that is understandable. We understood the hint. We truly did. I'm checking the gun. How does it look like? Obviously, it is still taking forever and ever to aim overall, so I don't really think it changes anything. Let's try to get involved in this way, right? So what that means, skill, why are you planning to get involved in this way, and why do you want to get involved in this way? Well, answer is straightforward, because our guys are making sure the other side is looking okay, right? Aiming. I am processing information which I am having here. It doesn't... Okay, whenever you are stopping and whenever you are aiming, it was a bit quicker than it was before, isn't it? I felt like I did not really need it to wait that long in order to fire once again, you know? If before, let's say, I was waiting for extra second to shoot, now I felt like it was half second or so. Once again, maybe I am special, but it looks tiny touch better whenever I stopped and whenever I started aiming. I would not say this gun handling is good by any shape or any form. And maybe it looks slightly better, but it's not like from the tank which was an butt wipe, you became the Esterva of the century and you are going to hit every single shot, and experimental equipment is going to make this tank 17 billion times better. No, it doesn't look like it. I definitely do not feel it, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. I just don't. And plus on top of that, obviously I am spamming the full gold because this is how this tank should be played. You know, we are doing some testing, we are checking out the things. What I like though, I must admit, I like the mobility of this vehicle. It truly feels so much more agile, so much more mobile, and it looks like it is easier to relocate from Sector A to Sector B at this point, right? That is definitely a good thing, at least in my opinion. But other than that, it's this is how I feel. Okay, let's go super aggressively to the middle. If we will get slaughtered, we will get slaughtered. All I care about the testing of this equipment setup, nothing more than that. Yeah, it doesn't look like it is a game changer, at least overall now. Well, it is my theory overall. Whenever I am the main bet in this kind of situation is to see how. Oh, wait a second. The main bet of all this is to see how that combined stabilizer and combined gun link drive works, right? At this point, I did not feel that much difference. I would like to test one more equipment piece. Before we are going for a hardening, right? I want to test out other things. I want to get the bond stabilizer instead of ventilation to see how the things are going to look like, and maybe our bloom would actually look so much better. You know, this is what I am curious about. So let's see the score, and after that we are changing the things. So score, it happened to be, we were quite lucky, 5,200 damage, 1,000 assisting damage, hip hip hooray, and we lost a bit of the credits. That's not the point. The point is to test the new equipment, right? Now we are replacing ventilation for stabilizer, bond stabilizer, and we are going to use the bond stabilizer directive out of curiosity. How is it going to look like, and will we be able to tell the difference? And after that, obviously, we will use the last piece of the improved equipment, right, or modified equipment, however you would call this, and we will finish everything like this. I'm sorry for a bit longer video, but I'm just doing testing, and we are experiencing this together, okay? Okay, so stabilizer, improved aiming unit mixed with ERM or with stabilizer, and so on. Let's see what we have. Okay. So what do we have? We have a better speed now, right? And we have better stabilization overall on this tank. Maybe improved aiming unit is not that much worth it for this vehicle. What do you think? And I would like to have hardening. Okay, this is actually looking a bit better. This is actually looking tiny touch better. Okay, let's see. This is only the start for us, and mistakes. Come on. I want to see enemies messing up here. That's exactly what we want to see, fellas. And this is what we are betting for. Okay, I really want to load the gold. And we are going to start spanking this Mr. Mouse. Do I want to go super aggressively? One, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 3 out of 4, not bad. Obviously, the distance is very, very close. We cannot say, oh, this is the game changer. This is completely different. The distance was extremely close. So we need to keep this in mind. We need to check out how the things are going to look like when the distance is going to be a bit longer. But before that, we would love to slaughter this Mr. E5. That's what we need to do. Definitely there is Grille waiting for us until we are going to peak. There is Udes, Lion. Oh, Lion. Aha. Doesn't really change anything. I am feeling relatively fine with all of this. Let's go for another one. All good. I see, fellas, what they are doing. They are being greedy mother truckers. But you know, greediness is good thing sometimes. Greediness sometimes is a good thing. All we need to do is we need to stay around this area and just simply have our eyes widely open and just start spanking enemies left, right, and center whenever they are doing something silly. That's all we are trying to do, right? That is it for our play. I am feeling like I hope he's having improved aiming unit, fellas. I am looking into this beautiful T57 heavy, and I hope he has improved aiming unit, fellas. I truly hope so. So far, speaking about the performance-wise, I am relatively happy. I cannot cry that much of how the things are looking like, and I would say everything is alright. So far, we are not complaining, are we? You see, this E4 is a problem. If I'm going like this, he's just peeking sideways and he's spanking us. I do not want to get spanked here. I just don't want to get spanked. No gun depression, cannot blame anyone else apart. You son of the banana! You son of the banana! Yeah, this guy is speaking for us like there is no tomorrow and he is spanking us. Nothing what I can change about this. Nothing what I can change about this. Such a greedy mother trucker. Such a greedy mother trucker, fellas. Now we are kind of down to fartable, so we need to be even more careful. And once again, I hope this T57 will help us whenever enemies will start playing a bit more aggressive. That's what I'm betting for. About Greenland. No gun depression. I have no gun depression. That is not the equipment problem. That is a problem of the tank, right? It's hard to depress the gun. By the way, in my humble opinion, whenever it happens this way, that you are losing from the defense, that means your team was, well, let's be polite and let's say a bit worse from the enemies, because I actually think the defense now is just feeling so much better than attack nowadays. So skill-wise, so, because before that you felt completely differently. You are 100% correct. Before I felt completely differently, and what changed is Wargaming pushed the spawn from the enemy side way more back. So what that basically means? Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Lion is going in. So that means enemies are just simply feeling so much better, so much worse taking the sides. It's so much harder to take that. Obviously, in this game, it doesn't matter. Enemy team played better and they did the things correctly. Did you felt any difference? No. I want to play one more game with this setup. Sorry, longer video. We are doing some testing. What can I say? Okay, and we are back. 3000 damage, 1000 assisting damage. Unfortunately defeat, but that is completely fine. And this is the performance which we have, right? All in all, we lost a bit of the credits, but once again, it's not about that. It's more likely about how this setup is working like. And I'm going to go for extra round with this setup because I'm curious. Okay, extra round. Okay, first things first. What we are thinking, we are taking this side over there because it works just fine and we will work as a bait. And in the same time, overall, I think it is just a must to take position. If the things will go well, hip hip hooray. If not, then not. I feel like this setup is actually making stabilization just tiny touch better with this vehicle, comparing to the previous ones which we used, even with the ventilation stabilizer and improved aiming unit, right? Which would work a bit differently, but there is still one piece of the puzzle which we are missing, and that is adding hit points and anti-armor rack protection, anti-fire protection and whatnot. Yes, I am speaking about experimental hardening, right? This is important thing to say. So far, I am feeling okay with this equipment setup. Obviously, in the end of the day, a lot of things are depending on the RNG. If you are lucky, you are unlucky, and so on, so on. Speaking about your shots, you are hitting them or not. And, you know, a lot of things the game is deciding for you, to say that the least. Anyways, at this point, what I want to see this EBR getting spotted here. This EBR is going to be a humongous pain in the butt, to say that the least, fellas. I'm trying to check out, do we have anyone on the corner here? And once again, we need to be very patient and we need to be smart. Okay, look at this, tier 10 MIX, how are you doing? Now EBR is going to be annoying. The question is, do I actually want to escape from here? Because once again, EBR will start farming me like there is no tomorrow. It's a matter of the time when he will start doing this. E5 sitting here as well. Manticore is going like this. Super Conqueror is going like this. I'm speaking about our Super Conqueror chilling over there. Okay, let's see. Can we clip someone out? This is the question. Only one Esterva not spotted. Interesting. Huh. Lion is joining the party. That's exactly what I want to see, but that's what we have. Oh, yes. Chieftain said I had enough of this. Beautiful, hip hip hooray. Now I am feeling tiny touch more comfortable here, to say that the least. I am truly feeling tiny touch more comfortable. That is a good shot. That is a good shot. Very, very nice. If he would try to peek again, this is going to be bad shot. It's okay. We know AMAX now sits over there. That's what we know. And we know we are all the time spotted. So we need to be very, very careful as well. But it's okay. You see, our heavy tank started making a bit of pressure like this, which is not necessarily bad. In fact, that is very good. I want to see enemies failing, no? Arta. I see that. I see that. Patience. We got this. We got this, fellas. We got this. Ooh, such a hard game. Such a hard game to make pressure here. I am feeling relatively safe. I truly do not mind. I am feeling alright here. How to make more pressure? This Vaza is making sure I cannot go involved like this, right? This is a bit of the problem. Plus on top of that, MX is making sure I cannot push on this Vaza. It is just overall a hard game. There is nothing to say about it. It is just a hard battle. Which is completely fine. You cannot expect to win games easy peasy lemon squeezy. You cannot expect that, can you? Okay, let's go sideways like a big boys. We just tracked this mother trucker. That is fine. I know what kind of price I paid for this, but I really wanted to get the full clip here. Because I am just simply paranoid. I am not going to be able to get absolutely anything, you know? This is my biggest paranoia in a way. Right? And even though if this guy would make a decision to be a bit more aggressive towards me, I don't care. There is a big chance he's not going to one-shot me. Now speaking about the AMX has a bigger alpha, so he's so much more dangerous tank to deal with. But other than that, we are feeling alright. Okay, AMX is not paying that much attention, and in fact, this guy messed up. I'm trying to track him. Unfortunately, I failed doing so, but I don't really care because our city is falling. We are just making pressure like this. We are eliminating this guy from the game. Esterva, as expected, was sitting in the back, and this is game over. Yeah, that's okay. No complaints, no regrets. I'm very I am all right with that, right? I can tell you one thing. From the equipment setups we used currently, I think, fellas, this equipment is the best for gun handling so far. But, you know, sometimes gun handling isn't everything. Sometimes you want to have that extra bit of the hit points as well, or not to get tracked from the first shot or something. So, for a last game, we are going to play with a bit different setup, and fingers crossed the things will work. Let's see. Okay, this is the score. Unfortunately, not the finest one, but that is fine. 3,200 damage once again. We are focusing so much more on the gun than on the score itself. We lost quite a bit of the credits, but it doesn't really matter. I cannot complain too much about this, right? Yeah, this was shouldn't be too happy. Anyways, last but not least equipment setup. We are going with a full experimental setup on this tank. I think this is one of those vehicles where it can actually work, so let's see. Now we are going to lose a bit of the gun handling, but we are going to have extra hit points, and we are not going to be tracked from the first shot. Let's go. Okay, fellas, T57 with experimental equipment fully pimped up. I played plenty of games which you haven't seen. I was trying to feel the ropes of this equipment setup because I was very unsuccessful with it, and I came to conclusion this is not the right way to play with this vehicle, to say that the least. What do I mean by saying this? That that equipment setup, which is combining a bit of the stabilizer and a bit of gun laying drive, it's just not that great, and looks like by initial impressions we are correct, right? Unless you are combining with this together with vertical stabilizer, but then why would you do that when you can use vertical stabilizer on its own, right? That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, check out this bloom. It is absolutely madness how it is looking like. Anyways, enough of cry, let's try to make it work, and hopefully we can be done with this testing. It wasn't the most enjoyable experience, I want to be honest with you fellas. It wasn't the most enjoyable experience to play with this tank using this particular setup, I'm telling you. And when I am feeling like I am getting tortured a bit, right? Then it is not a great setup, and I don't feel like I want to play with it. So, I honestly think that equipment piece is just simply useless. I don't see the point how you could make it work and where you could make it work, if that makes sense. Anyways, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. I cannot play aggressively because I am not that armored as a tank, right? I need to be very, very smart how am I approaching the enemies. The thing is, to go in front and to clip someone, it's easy, right? But to save your hit points, it is hard. Since I do not really trust this tank armor, and by the way, you shouldn't either, we need to figure out the other ways how we can make it work. Yeah, when all stars are aligned, when you have mouse in front and mouse taking every single shot for the team, yeah, sure, hip hip hooray, you can do that. Right, whenever enemies are shooting, you are peeking sideways and you are clipping enemies like there is no tomorrow. But this is perfect case scenario. In reality, it is not so simple and it is not so easy, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. It's simply not. Let's try to punish this tortoise once or twice. Yeah, let's go for a blind shot, doesn't really matter. Maybe we penetrated him, maybe we didn't. Time will show everything. Now we are just simply waiting. I see how the things are looking like, but talking about this setup and how to play this game, there is two ways how we can do the things. There is option number one to stay here in the back, and there is option number two to play where I am playing. There is literally two options which you have. There is literally two options, fellas. Making pressure like this is no bueno, making pressure like this is no bueno either. It looks very, very hard. Truly does. What is the right way to play this game, fellas? Just to say we would play in the Ensk or somewhere else where. Okay, what I want to see this tortoise speaking here. Maybe he will, maybe he won't, we will see. I'm paying attention into the maxi map as usual. Nice shot. How I can make pressure? How I can make pressure and not get slaughtered? This is the question. Okay, I will try to risk it for the biscuit a bit. I'm not saying this is going to be a good one, but we can try. I'm aware of this 140 playing. Hold down here, you do not need to tell anything to me. I see. I see, but in the same time, I really want to eliminate some guns. So the first gun which will fall is this 263. Hopefully. Doesn't matter. Even if I would have taken one for the team, I just don't care. Now we have this gentleman who is kind of down to one-shottable. And now we have this 140 who is down to one-shottable as well. If he's not going to run, he's dead meat. Bad aim. It's okay, not much what I can change about this. I got rebalanced a bit by the tier 8 heavy tank. For 1000 damage, to be fair with you. Whew. It's okay, no complaints, no regrets. What to do now? This 140 is truly playing very well. I need to give kudos for this gentleman. He's doing everything properly. He's in good position and he is spanking us like there is no tomorrow, fellas. So definitely kudos for him. I don't really think I need a hit clip at this point. All I need to do, I need to say hello for this M103. If it is possible, obviously. Now our Leo should be able to spot for us, hopefully. And if he will be able to spot for us, we will be able to spank everyone who is trying to get involved like so. Very hard game, but I think this equipment setup is just bad. I mean, looking into the gun bloom, I really dislike it, right? I truly do not like how the things are looking like. I am missing most of my shots, which I truly do not appreciate, to say that the least, right? And I simply do not feel like this is a good setup, honestly. I just do not like it. Okay. At this point, we can expect and we should expect enemies crossing like this. Or, to be fair with you, already being crossed like this also could be very possible. Bad shot by me, can't blame the gun. Ooh, fellas, ooh. Oh, I'm patient. Oh, I am patient. I think this could very well be the war setup which I used on this vehicle. And by the way, this is not the first game for me playing with this setup, right? This is what I want to highlight, and this is why I am so skeptical about this one. I'm going on the reload. Probably he thinks I am holding one more, but I do not. How we can spank them? I don't really think I can escape from here. I have 2 in the mag. I could probably go for a reload because this guy would not expect, but as you can see, There is already a gentleman who is trying to mess me up from behind. Don't worry, I see this M103. I just want to fulfill my clip. That's okay. Look, I do not know why do I have such a hate for this equipment setup, but I did not really enjoy it. Even though the score is good, we missed most of our shots, and for this setup you need to be very, very close in order to make it work. So let's see the score and let's be done with this. Okay, fellas, that's what we have. 5,200 damage, first class, hip hip hooray. It's not about the score, to be fair with you anyways, doesn't really matter. So all and all, after testing, the most important test of today was to check the fire control system skill. Is fire control system worth it, and is it worth to use for auto loaders? I don't think so, fellas. I think this is the most useless equipment setup. I think turbo and survival setup is good, but this one is just, it's not worth it. There is better ways to equip your tank, but once again, that's only me. Feel free to tell your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Skill is out for today. Peace.